Yeah, I've been doing it ever since it was, it used to be in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And as the show has been growing, they found that they needed more space, so they ended up here. And then this is the final year in Anaheim. Next year it moves to Vegas.
Which is my hometown.
DCON, if you've never been to DCON, it'll be in Vegas next year, and it's something you might want to check out because it's just a room full of some of the most cutting-edge artists. I mean, I'm here. Tara McPherson is over there. Scott Tolson is next to me. Tristan Eaton is right over there. I mean, like, everybody's here, and it's an opportunity for you to come and meet these artists, but also expose yourself because you've got some of the name artists over here, but then when you go in the back, you've got all these young, new artists that have tables, and, like, they are, like, killing it. So
you have some exclusives this year.
Yeah.
You have the Animal?
Yeah, we've got the Animal vinyl figure, which is, you just have to see it and decide for yourself what you think about it. And then we have the Creeping Darrow vinyl figure, the Shadow variant. We also have the Vivi collaboration. About 2 years ago, I worked with Vivi, who are like one of the leading, if not the leading, sort of producer of digital collectibles.
Like NFTs?
NFTs, but similar, but nothing connected to like the blockchain in mass.
Sure.
But digital collectibles, they are like if you want to buy anything Marvel or if you want to buy anything Disney, it's Vivi. So they also, the owners, are very, very big fans of art, collectors of art. So they've chosen some of the artists that they love to also be on the platform. So me and Ron English, Tara McPherson, the late Frank Kozik, we're all on the platform.
Peace, by the way.
Yeah.
I know he was like a mentor kind of to you. I don't want to speak out of terms.
Yeah, he was a mentor. He was a good friend. We knew each other for since way back in Texas in the 90s. And
they're doing a tribute to him here, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a tribute figure to him, and his wife Sharon is here, and so we've been helping out with that. Me and I'm actually part of the estate now. I'm sort of the my official title. I'm the creative director and in charge of art and also licensing for the estate.
Congratulations, maybe? I know it's bittersweet.
Well, I'm glad to be able to kind of help dictate his work, because his work is timeless and
prolific.
Yeah, his work will live forever. So, we Vivi, that situation with them, we released the first series that I did with them, which was a digital line of figures based on my choices bunnies, but we designed all new colorways for the Vivi thing. And for years, collectors have been saying, man, I wish those colorways existed in real physical vinyl toys. Well, now they do.
Yeah.
So we debuted them here, and they seem to be a hit. My latest print that I did for Queens of the Stone Age, that show was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I have those here as well. That show was actually like a week ago.
I feel like as an artist, you, and maybe not all artists, but specifically you, intentionally address controversy.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of on the nose with the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah. Well, that shit is prevalent at every level of society.
Sure.
So it could be some of these fake ass politicians, or it could be like people in your community, in your friend group, or you've always got to be careful, because morality is a human creation. It's a creation of human ego. In real life, like nature, like if I was to take you and like fucking strip you down to your underwear and like slowly lower you from a helicopter into some uncharted part of the Amazon rainforest, like before your feet hit the ground, that'd be like a billion things out to get you.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? I mean, like from fucking big cats all the way down to like bacteria that you can't see. We live on a planet of predators.
Yes.
So we always have to remember, I'm not being a pessimist, but
I don't think you are.
Yeah, I think when we're dealing with other human beings, you always have to remember the animal part. The animal is always present, and so and some people let that shit flow. So you got to always watch out. There are predators out there, and they can come in all sorts of disguises.
So when an idea comes to you like that, what's your process after you can do it like relatively quickly? I know you don't have much time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll basically, if I've got an idea, I'll do a rough sketch. I'll see, I'll typically sit with the sketch for a couple days, see how it feels. Some things seem really awesome one day, and like a day later, it's like corny,
Yeah, sure.
But if the idea lasts, if it marinates and it's still a good idea, then I'll finish off the sketch and do it. And like as my career has gone on, I sometimes like long for the early days, because like I didn't have a huge following when I first started and all that stuff, but I had nothing to lose. So like I was like, fuck it, I would just do anything,
Sure.
right? Well, as you attain more, prominence in the field and followers, and like your work starts to create a legacy for yourself, a portfolio. You can fall into the trap of like thinking too much about like, okay, well, what are they going to think about this, and how is this going to affect my thing, and will it sell?
Yeah.
And so I fight my whole career to try to stay true and retain a certain amount of like, just not caring about what other people like. You've got to, as an artist, I think you've got to be able to crawl inside a vacuum and not really care. Well, yeah, you can't care about what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And if some people like it, then great. But if they don't like it, also you've got to like not care, because the minute that you start serving the gallery, then you stop being an artist and you sort of start just to become you're an illustrator of their ideas.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I'm saying a whole lot, but simply put, when it comes down to it, it's just like, make yourself happy first. I mean, it's tricky, dude, because like, hey, I'm not gonna bullshit you. Like, this shit pays for my food, rent. So you've gotta be balanced. I can't go in there like straight up renegade and just like, oh, fuck everybody, I'm gonna do what I want. You have to consider. And then I'm working for clients, so if I'm working for Hami, or if I'm doing stuff for 9 Inch Nails, or if I'm doing stuff for whoever, Deftones, Ween, like I've got to represent them in a way that they're cool with, man. Like,
Sure.
But I've got to figure out how to put my style in there.
Which leads me to my favorite print pretty much of all time,
Right on.
which is the passenger print.
Right on.
I've always wanted to know maybe a little history on that, if there is any, or any little quirks.
No, I mean, I just tried to illustrate. I mean, some things I try to get really like underneath it, or like I try to like get inside the ideas. With that one, I was just being pretty literal. I think about the song and I hear it, and it sets this mood. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me illustrate it, because I see this scene in my head, and just this whole sort of the scene, but also kind of a metaphysical kind of. It's happening, but it's happening like outside of time,
Huh.
So yeah, it worked out. I mean, I did that back in 2013, 10 years old this year. So it seemed to hold up. I started defacing things, which is basically just sort of vandalizing my own work.
Yeah.
I started doing that probably about 20 years ago. And yeah, I mean, and it's an amazing thing, because it sort of repurposes, if I do a piece of art or do a poster, I can deface it and I can screw with your original idea of what you thought it meant. And it actually creates a brand new piece of artwork.
The way for, like, I would say, the common man to get an original piece of art.
It's an original piece of art, and I think that's the thing that people are just in the last few years finding, like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is something. And I mean, I'm proud. I like, it's something that like not everybody is doing.
No.
Like, I mean, I'll take a poster that I've done, and like the poster goes for $500-600. And so, yeah, I'm going to draw all over it now. And like most people are like, why were you well, no, I'm doing that because I'm like, in a way saying, that's why I call it defacing. I'm in a way like kind of throwing my middle finger up at the original image, what I was trying to say back then, what the thing is worth now, like fuck all of that. I'm going to create something totally new. And then I'm going to challenge the viewer to like, did I Like, did I ruin it, or do you love it more? Did I enhance it, or did I? And so it's a risk, you know. You pull out a fucking $500-600 piece of paper and you start drawing on it cold. But I like that. It keeps that's what art should be. Art should be about in the moment feeling. And the minute you start trying to game it, like you'll lose it because you're not bigger than the art.
Sure.
You know, you need to just like let the moment flow. And I dig that. So I mean, it works for me. But no, it's a beautiful place to come if you're an art fan. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Jermaine.
Right up.